channel. And Sunday, we're back here at the TA truck stop in Mineral Wells, West Virginia. So, just got to go up the road, make a delivery, and then run over towards Maryland, make a delivery there, then kick off a couple handfuls full of stops in Virginia. Finish up in central Kentucky towards the end of the week. So if we could like, comment, subscribe to the channel. As you know, that helps get us out there, more recommendations. And when we get to that 1,000 subscriber, either on this channel, the S.E.E. channel, or RK Auto Detailing, get you kicked out a free detailing kit from Jack's Wax. So appreciate everyone that has subscribed, or the new subscribers coming along, or just if you're just in viewing, do us the favor and just click that like button and click that subscribe button. So anyhow, I didn't do anything after that live stream last week, as I just a busy week. Tuesday through Friday, put in 2,200 miles, and just kind of got home. And it's just hard when I get home to think, hey, you know, I could do a live stream or do a vlog, something. And it is it's hard at times. If you go back this past winter, a few months ago, I set up my camera in the backyard, and I was shoveling snow and all that. I mean, what's it like when you get, like, today's travel day, got going, rolling down the road, knowing where I'm going. I knew when I left the yard I was going to be here at the TA, unless, of course, a mechanical failure or something with the truck. But for the most part here, relaxing. And that's, you know, for me, I get more rest out on the road, relaxing like this, doing a live stream, than when I get home. Because at the end of the week, now, as I hit the state line and getting back up to the yard, my mind is now going, all right, got to get what's the exit strategy, getting out of the truck, getting home, what needs to get done, because I may have my 34, I may have 2 or 3 days. They have to be utilized to the utmost optimal structure before I get back out here. And you know, I'm only out for, you know, 5-6 days at a time. And it's crucial when I'm home that, you know, there's things that I'm not home, like go and do an 8, 10, 12-hour day as a local job and come home every afternoon, evening. I don't have that luxury as I used to when I worked in healthcare. But that's the trade-off. I can make 2.5 times more doing this annually than I can working in healthcare. So I elect to stick with this and not try to up my game there. But getting your mindset then to shift out of the truck into the car, you know, the first things, and I'm like, this is what I do. Everyone's different. I can tell you another YouTuber that I watch, he's the same way, and that's Trucking Unfiltered. He will actually vlog things he does, but for him being an owner-operator, he also is like, oh man, you know, I got to get tires on the truck while I'm home. I'm in personal time. I got to get this done or that done on the truck while I'm on personal time. So sometimes you can excuse yourself from the truck and go get personal stuff done, and there's times when this truck has a lot last year. This truck went through its anomalies to where if it was at the shop and I dropped it off, say Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, I'm calling the shop Saturday morning. Hey, is that truck done? Yeah, we got it done. Okay. So now I got to bust out whatever I'm doing, grab the wife, then go get the truck, run it to the yard, and, just at least bump the trailer, and then deal with it when I go to roll out, hooking it up, finish hooking it up, and all that jazz. But, there's times when I've got to look over my shoulder and say, hey, how are we on that truck? How are we on the truck? Because I need to know. If not, I got to get a substitute truck to get out on the road. It's not an option. I can't. I, you know, we have options where we're at to get a sub truck or a rental truck, but we have to front run that if, like this vehicle or this truck, when it had its problems. And then there was times when it was tied up in the shop twice last year at 4 weeks at a time. First time was ABS and traction control module and wheel sensors, and the second time was the transmission and clutch. And all that happened like 290,000 and 334,000 on this truck. Transmission and clutch pack went out. That's the thing about having a newer truck like this. I still have as much shit go wrong as a truck that has 1.5 million miles. I've definitely, the only thing we haven't touched is anything on the engine yet. Or no, we have. I'm sorry. We just did an overhead injector Jake wire harness, new Jake solenoids, and they adjusted the overhead. So it's running tops. 8.6 miles to the gallon today, and that's with 80% loaded trailer. So yeah, it's running way better than it used to. But boy, I'll tell you what, for this first year, I had to really go through the growing pains on this truck, because this truck, I got it handed to me. Our company went to Ryder. I was supposed to have a new truck. It was supposed to have been shipped up here September of 23, and it was spec'd to what I wanted. They gave me the spec sheet, said yes, they got one, they're bringing it up from Phoenix, Arizona, and lo and behold, Ryder, the rental company we lease our trucks from, decided they were going to make more money in a different direction with that truck. So then it took them 3 months to go, and I told them, I said, what backyard boneyard you pull this one out of, because it has just had a handful of problems last year. I think when the transmission and clutch pack went out last August, they gave me a truck with no AC, and it was over 100 degrees for most of that month everywhere I went, and I almost quit. But they talked me, luckily I got a phone call and they talked me out of it, because I'll tell you what, that almost broke my back on that. So luckily, in twice last year for 3-axle alignment, chewed up a whole set of tires. They ended up redoing the tires, took it to another alignment shop. Yeah, the front drive, I told them that front drive was out because my TPS monitor, my front drive axle, the tires were overheating at 135 degrees to 145 degrees. They were running all day. So I nearly had to sit at customers and let them come down some. Today, they're all running about 105, 100 degrees. So the truck's dialed in, but definitely what a pain in the effing ass just to get it to where it is. And but getting home, if it's not, if I don't have to have a truck issue where it's in the shop when I get back, then I got to turn my mind is, my first thing when I leave the yard is I ask my wife, do I got to get to the pharmacy? Do I got to get meds? Is there stores I got to stop by? Because my wife's disabled, so she can't just get in the car and go run here, there, and everywhere. And she can't drive at night. So with that all said, I have to run and do all that. It doesn't matter how drag-ass tired I am. And I'm just using me as an example. Everyone. And I see, let me see, I got the shadows, I got the sun coming at me. Taylor, are you one of the 25th? No. Tadlock Trucking? No, I do not haul for UPS. we're not even anywhere. We're not even in the universe with UPS. So we are. I drive for a small fleet company of 6 trucks. We are a small private fleet. We haul our own product, and and our backhaul product is all our own internal. So I have done reefer. I've done RGN and flatbed. If you look at my videos, back in the late 80s and all through the 90s, I did the Michigan Special heavy hauls. But when I have ran over the road for other companies, yeah, a lot of backhauls, a lot of reefer. But these guys have been a good fit for me, and the pay is definitely keeping me bumped ahead of inflation, but also comfortable with my schedule where at least I'm home every week. So, but yeah, so back to life and hey, Tadlock, throw in what is life like when you get out of the truck and when you have to turn the truck off in your head and flip the switch to go back, into the home life. And, things, what is it like, that transition then, whether it's you're 34, a couple days at home, what have you. I mean, do you find yourself having to mentally flip that switch to adjust to then meeting and greeting the family, friends, structuring out, do you have a medical appointment? Is there something at the house that needs to be addressed and fixed, or the vehicle? There's all that stuff, and it's just that, that's what I'm trying to just say today is, when you're away from home, for me, it's 5-6 days. When I was doing the reefer and that, I could go 3 months out at a time. And it was a hell of an adjustment coming back home. Usually took me a day to adjust into getting back into the swing of things. So like Friday, adverse weather. So I ran, got groceries, got meds for the wife. Oh, what else did we do? I think that was it. I loaded up the car, then got home. We unpacked, put everything away. I think I did a few things around the house. They're requiring some chores. Yesterday I got up, had the furnace filter to change. I had some stuff in the house to get done. Then I went out and mowed lawn. I detailed the inside of her car, my truck, my personal vehicle, and her vehicle. Got my stuff loaded up in my vehicle to get back in the truck this morning. So there's that kind of stuff where then you're getting ready and transitioning to get your laundry done. So you got your work clothes to go back in the truck to get out on the road. So you're aligning everything up, and and there's times when I've jumped out of the truck, ran to a dental appointment without even going by the house. There's times when I've had to go to the hardware, like Home Depot or Lowe's, pick up something that it's got to be fixed at the house because it's essential, especially come winter time. I can pull up, and I haven't been home all week. The wife doesn't drive in the winter, so therefore I pull up and I got a foot of snow in the driveway. In my car, it's not going to get in there. So now I'm out along the roadside with the 4-ways on. Well, I turn on all the floodlights, go out there with the snowblower and the shovel and clearing out the drive, getting that cleaned up. And that could burn up an hour. And then getting the car, getting unpacked, basically cleaning up around the house from all the snow so she can get around and take the dogs out and all that jazz. Backyard, where she takes the dogs out, I got to clear all the entryway back there. Right now it's lawn mowing, yard maintenance like that. It all becomes, after a while, it becomes a nuisance. And, you start looking at 58 years old, you start looking at in 20 years, how do I want to be living my life? Do I still want to be out here taking care of lawns, upkeeping a house that is a little bit too much for us? And you start looking around, and we have been for a few years, looking at downsizing. What do we essentially need in the next 5 to 10 years that we can get rid of? We only need. And right now we only use half of our house, so I'm like, we just need a house half the square footage, and we'll be comfortable. So, but yes, that all said, just wanted to chime in. Life, what is life like? And for me, sitting out in this chair here, this is relaxing. For me, coming to work, coming out on the road is far more relaxing than when I get home. I've got my own personal responsibilities. I don't have a crew or a company that can just take care of everything at home for me. It's decision making. It's communicating with my spouse and letting her know, hey, this and this has got to get done while I come through come by or at home for this stint. And yeah, so as I'm getting older, I'm just finding that it's more relaxing out here than it is being at home. And it's not because of the wife, but because of I see these big houses, and I'm just like, what are you doing with these new home builds around us? And they're happening all around the country, new home developments. But these builders just aren't building affordable homes. They're building homes that are, the ones around us are 3-story, 3-car garages. And I'm just like, what the F do I need a house as an empty nester like that? It's ridiculous. And I'm just like, I want to minimize everything I have to, if I had to just be down to one vehicle once we do that, and I say 10 years down the road, I just want to be down to one vehicle, just take it easy. Just back off any financial upkeep, whether it's maintenance on vehicles, a house, jazz like that. So yeah, so anyhow, we're 11.5 minutes into it. I've said pretty much what I've had to say for the most part. Any of you folks that are listening in, what's it like, even if you're not a truck driver, what's it like to flip the switch from coming out of the workday to coming home? And, life goes on. I mean, I may be out here, and I remember in the day, I could be out here for a couple weeks or 3 months. But, things happen at home, and they have to be addressed to where it can't wait till I get home. If it's plumbing, electrical, heating, if it's a medical appointment for my wife, those things have to be, you basically gotta look at it and say, what is your plan? Who do you have to step in and fix something at the house during the winter months when you're gone and the wife's there? Do you have a backup of people that can come and take her to an appointment because she doesn't drive in the snow? So it's kind of like that kind of stuff. So you're worry free out here on the road, so you can concentrate on your driving. The other knuckleheads that are out here, and being communicable, if you want to say, with my customers. Being able to have that product talk, if they're got stuff on back order and this and that, or if their back orders coming in, to let them know. But I don't need something on the back of my mind that's pressing hard, to deter me from concentrating on what I need to be out here and being safe and efficient. So my voice is dry and getting hoarse. Of course, I went grocery and other shopping Friday when I got out of the truck, and somewhere in the end of yesterday, my eyes were getting scratchy and watery in my throat. So obviously I went into the petri dish of Walmart, Costco, and the grocery store, and basically probably caught someone's slimy germ somewhere along the line. So I just trying to subside that. I may take a walk here, but for the most part, get a little bit to eat, just finish getting things ready for tomorrow, look over my paperwork again, and already committed. That's the other thing too. So when I'm home on say Fridays or Saturdays, I may be receiving phone calls from my customers here, and they're like, "What's your ETA next week of being here? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?" So they can adjust to having a crew there to help unload and what have you. And so, or I got to reach out and let them or give them a shout, especially on the early side of my route, like Mondays, so they can be anticipating me instead of me just showing up at the doorstep first thing Monday morning and they're caught off guard. What was I gonna say? Oh, and then I've got businesses. I forgot all about that. Right now, summertime's here, and I'm getting bombarded with phone calls after phone calls of my auto detailing. And not only with that, I've got, I had a person call yesterday wanting to know how to handle a situation that they have with their vehicle. They were looking to see if they could do a DIY, and I gave them some ideas and tips. And I said, if that doesn't work, and you want me to go forward in correcting the problem with that, I can bring it over, and it'll just take us a short while, and you can just sit and wait while I do it. But yeah, I have an LLC on a couple businesses. I do RV detailing inside now. I do cars, trucks. So I got customers and clients calling on that. I have distributors that I buy product from, for detailing supplies to buffing supplies, and a whole kit and caboodle there. And then I'm an AMSOIL dealer, so I've also got my rep that I just met up with him a couple weeks ago. Went over some stuff. I got to get some training videos in. I'm way behind on those. So it's one of those where I told the wife we have to invest in a router so I can start working with my PC out on the road. I can't keep up by just trying to get it done at home, but something I can take mobile here on the road, and then of course when we're out and about or down at our other property. So that's, it's an ongoing thing. To come home and say, damn, I just came off the road for a week or a month, and I'm going to kick my feet up. Like in the old days, the man came home, worked his 8 hours, threw his feet up, read the paper, the wife waited on him, cooked the meal, this and that. Yeah, that's the case. My wife does the cooking. She does the laundry. She helps keep the house tidied up in the area she pretty much just facilitates in, because that's the only part. She's very she's not that mobile to getting around and doing a whole lot. But for the most part, she keeps the dogs taken care of, their meds and their meals and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's going to be a day when I'm out of this truck, and then I can be home, 7 days a week, and I can concentrate more on my businesses and keep things going. But for now, I'm having to put on different hats and flipping the mental switch on going from being in this truck, out on the road, being this company man, to coming up and adjusting to the home life, my businesses, and my obligations at home, of course, and being a husband and taking time for my wife to, do things together. And I don't feel guilty about it. I used to, but I don't anymore. We have learned that, we're in a better position now than we were 13 years ago. And I couldn't have asked for, when we relocated, from the one side of Michigan to the other side, and allowed myself to get back into driving. It took us probably till 2018 to where I started feeling more confident, and by 22 and to now, it's even been better. So COVID was good for us. We were busy. The gas pedal didn't slow down till probably the last couple weeks here. Have I been able to just not worry about how many hours am I going to have at the end of the week, because the boss man may need to have me run something in state or out of state for, maybe a trailer load somewhere, and use up the last bit of hours I have. But we've kind of tapered off. We're not dead, but just slowed down enough where I can be comfortable going on the road and breathe without stressing and looking at the clock and time managing minutely. So I just, like, when I get back, if there's some hours, if he's gonna, if he says, hey, can you do this for me? Let me look. What do I got for hours? Can it be done in this amount of time? Yep. Okay, I'll do it. I don't turn. I'll say one thing. If there's money on the table, I'm not turning it down. I'm going after it. Whether it's here or at home with my businesses, I'm gonna. I don't want to say I'm chasing the money. With my businesses, I'm not hard pressed in marketing and sales on it. It's starting to come around to where I just let it do its thing and let it flow for the most part. But yeah, so anyhow, again, what's it like for many of you, whether if any of you are in the trucking industry, or if any of you are in a profession where if you're running long hours a day, or if you're away from home multiple days a week, what's it take for you to adjust that mental switch, to flip from the work mode to coming home, and then being that spouse, that parent, or if you're not married, don't have kids, what's it like for you to adjust walking in the house? And because it's a different paradigm once you pass that threshold. And that's just something I just wanted to discuss, because we get out here, and like I said, I'm just a 5-6 days out here, but many of these drivers are out 1 month, 3 months at a time. Some others I've seen on YouTube, they're out for 4 to 6 months at a time. But when they do get back home around family, because some of them are single, but they get around family and that, and it's an adjustment. And I just wondered, what do you do to make that adjustment? I guess for me is, this place doesn't stress me out. I guess is how I was wrapping it up earlier. Is it goes well, my route is done, I'm on my way back. If they don't need me, then I'm basically just going to the yard, get the truck fueled up, putting it in the dock they tell me, get all my stuff together to go home, whether it's any perishable stuff in the fridge and my dirty laundry, throw it in the car, lock the doors on the truck, and as soon as I pull the yard, it's behind me. I don't bring work home. When I worked in healthcare for 10 years, I can tell you I nearly had a stroke. How much? Because when you worked in the cardiovascular, truck pulled up nose first in the parking spot next to me. Sorry for the noise. But when I was in healthcare, in the cardiovascular unit, we were on. If it was my call week, and our shift, we'd have 8-hour shifts. Then you'd go home, unless there was something, scheduled to come down. You stayed and worked until everything was done on your call week. You go home, but you're on call to, for that week. You got call pay, but you had to have a 30-minute response time, because that's what they expected in cardiovascular. So for me, it was, I couldn't be dilly-dallying on my way home. I had to keep a phone on me. And if I got home, it's like we're just sitting like at the start gate of a run meet, and basically just waiting to see if the starter gun's going to go off. And I'll tell you, just every week, week in, week out, it's like, when you were not doing calls, like, thank goodness, you could go and just take off, screw around, do whatever after work, or plan something. But, and even the weekends and holidays, if you were scheduled, it's like, it just sucked to try to have a life. And to me, this has been better for the mental mindset for me. This has been better than working in year in and year out in healthcare. So I am very happy for that. And So there's many of people out there. They will, other YouTube vloggers in the trucking realm. They will. My side of the face is in the sun. Take a look. Emma, you adjust. So the sun's popping right there. So that's the fuel island. So that's the TA here. It's brand new. It doesn't even come up on my Garmin, my brand new Garmin, as it even existing here. But it is on the Google Maps and Trucker Path. But excuse me. But yeah, and being in the hospital around all the germs and sick people, man, I'd get sick 2-3 times a year. I've been back to driving since 2014. I've been sick 1, 2, maybe 4 times in the last 11 years. And but I've been on the longest streak up until I got this little scratchy throat. But I had gone the last 3 winters, yeah, 2 winters. So maybe last, almost 2 years without anything. And yeah, but who knows? Been running hard. I've been busy, especially going into the month of May. So. But yeah, the mental mindset of what you do, if you enjoy doing what you do. Now, there's a lot of people, there's nurses I've met, they love doing what they do in the hospital. When I left there, I'm like, I'm not going back. But I never intended to work in a hospital setting. That's the thing people never understood when I was there. I did a bachelor's degree because I needed it to get to being a chiropractor in chiropractic school. But when I dropped out to take care of more pressing obligations at home, and that therefore was not requiring me to stay in school, because something more bigger and more important than that. But some people would have took it as I'm going to be selfish and just I'm going to think of myself. Well, I wasn't that kind of person then. So I stepped out of chiropractic school halfway in the program and fell back on my bachelor's degree to work and have a home life so I could take care of an individual. But when people thought that's all I did was go to school for that, and I said, you don't understand what I was trying to get to. What I was trying to get done was go to chiropractic school, be in my own business, have my own practice, and be my own shot caller as far as setting my own hours and, and being able to, if I wanted to make more cash flow, I could apply myself more into my business. But yeah, falling back in healthcare, it sure was stressful compared to this. Like I said, out here, and my wife knows, I'm relaxed out here. I told my boss that. I said, it's just you don't understand how relaxed I am out here. It's when I get home and I got to deal with everything coming at me 50 ways a Sunday to put fires out, get things taken care of, fixed, whatever. So it's just made me just realize that I want to minimize, be more of a minimalist as I march towards the golden years. So we've been at this for 34 minutes? Yeah. So I appreciate Tadlock Trucking chiming in. Yeah, we're nothing to do with UPS, and thank goodness. I can tell you, I would never work for a mega carrier. They treat their drivers like shit. They pay them for shit because they don't want experienced drivers. They want a cheap driver so they can molest them for their time out on the road at the bare minimum pay. And that's why I'd never step that way. I've told a lot of people, I've given my 2 cents in the past of small fleet carriers. Another good one that pays well is like Ashley Furniture, but some of these small fleet carriers means you're gonna have to probably get in the trailer and do some unloading. That's the same with this company. You got to get in there and unload, and it's not light and easy stuff. But that's the trade-off. Unless you just want to swing door, hold the steering wheel, swing doors, and bump docks, hey, that's fine. But those drivers get the bare minimum pay. Sorry to say, but and if you think $65,000, $75,000 a year is good pay, you're far but mistaken. That's shit pay anymore. I won't turn the key for that. I'd tell you to go F off. It's not worth my time to leave my house for the many nights I gotta be away. You're gonna freaking pay me to be gone and run your equipment safely so that there's no fatalities, your reputation, your carrier, your authority doesn't get jeopardized from gross negligence. So yeah, I've always stuck with small companies. I worked for one mega company, and they did exactly what I've been saying. They will work and they'll crack the whip on you and work the living bejesus out of you for shit pay, and it's just not worth it. So you have to really be diligent and know when to do that, you know, where you need to put yourself, position yourself at a company. So, and that, if I get a chance this week, is going to be the next live stream. It's going to be on when to pivot a company. So until next time, folks, stay safe, continue educating yourself. Knowledge is learned, not taught, and we will see you all in the next video.